All right, you guys. Hello. How is everyone doing? Are we hearing crickets right now? I have been gone off of YouTube now pretty much for the past 2 years. I've posted videos here and there, but primarily only been on TikTok. There have been a lot of life changes, and I announced, I think around March or April of last year, I think it was around April, that I was going to be coming back to YouTube, and made a big announcement about my weight loss journey and things that are going to be happening with that, and I never came back. So today, after a lot of thought and just really not wanting to come back until I knew I was going to be ready, I'm going to put on some of the Tarte Maracuja. I am finally in the mental space to come back. Now, a lot of things have happened over the course of the past 2 years. A lot has happened here recently, and I just know that YouTube has always been a creative outlet for me, and it's always been a place that, I don't know, it's kind of like my journal, my diary. So it's making me super excited to be back, and I hope you guys will be just as excited that I'm back as well for story times and makeup and all of the things. And today we're going to do a get ready with me. I'm super excited. I'm also so excited. I finally got another bottle of this. For those of you guys who have been following me for a long time, this is not sponsored, by the way. I bought this with my own money. Hi, Kaylee. This is the Dossier Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanilla, my favorite perfume. This is Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanilla is my favorite perfume. But if you're unfamiliar with Tom Ford fragrance, they are literally $300 to $600. This smells exactly, this is the Dossier Powdery Tobacco. It smells exactly like it. It is a very mature vanilla scent. And I don't mean that in a granny way. I mean that in like, it's not like your basic vanilla perfume. It's got a little bit of depth to it, but smells so good. And when I tell you that it lasts so long, literally just those few little squirts, and I will smell so good all day long. But yeah, let's get ready together. I'm going to be using my favorite products. If you've been following me from the beginning, a lot of these are going to be things that you already know about. And some of these are not going to be available anymore. I'm going to be talking a lot about, because I still use Jaclyn Cosmetics. As we all know, she decided to stop doing Jaclyn Cosmetics. They're some of my favorite products, so I do still use them, and I do purchase them off of Mercari or Poshmark or wherever. Hey Presley, which is one of the first things I'm going to use, is the Jaclyn oil. I love this stuff. I use this on my cuticles. I use this on my face. I've been doing this. I got this off the TikTok shop. It's like the little thing for your double chin. It honestly does work. I love it. And I've been putting just a little bit of oil underneath there. And yeah. I'm just going to do a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm going to blend it in with the damp sponge. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on since I've been gone, and go a little bit more into depth about my plans for 2025, what I want for this channel in 2025. As you guys know, I primarily moved all of my social over to TikTok. That pretty much just became like my full-time gig as far as social media goes. And I think that happened with a lot of creators. Now, I have posted some videos, and hold on, you guys. I'm pretty sure that's a fake account. I don't know how many subscribers you have to have to go live. I'm not sure. But anyways, moving on. I'm also going to go in with a little bit of this. Now, this is the Royal Honey Propolis. This brand sponsored me years ago, and I have repurchased probably, I think this is like my 3rd or 4th bottle. This stuff is so good. It's by Skin Food. Nobody ever talks about it, but it is so, so good, and has a lot of really good ingredients in it for your skin, which I do think Sephora, well, I know they used to carry Skin Food. I don't know if they still do or not. Skin Food was the original of the green clay mask, for any of you who haven't heard of Skin Food. But anyways, for those of you guys who may be new, I started my channel my original channel in 2016. And I loved it. It was like a journal for me, and I ended up going through something and deleted that channel in 2019 and created a new YouTube channel at the end of 2019, which is this channel. And the past 2 years, I've pretty much, like I said, only been on TikTok. I've posted a few videos, mostly lives, between then and now, and a lot has happened. You guys know I went through a breakup, and it was more than just a typical breakup. We had been together for 7 years. We lived together. We had things together. It was a big, big deal. And I ended up meeting someone else, and we got engaged last Christmas, and I moved to a new town that I never lived in before, and just a lot of change. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not process it well at all. And I feel like if you're going to be posting like long form content like this on social media, I feel like if you're not in a good mental headspace, you shouldn't be posting on the internet. I just feel like the internet can be a really fun place and a really good way to be creative and a really nice outlet. But I just don't feel right posting content. I didn't feel right posting content when I was not in a good mental health space. If others do, that's their business, and that's on them. That's not for me. That's not something that I'm ever going to do. So I posted a few videos, nothing crazy, like I said, just like a couple of lives, and I think I did like maybe 2 story times in the past 2 years, which I used to post twice a week, so that was a really big jump. And so I mentioned in my last live that I was going to be going on a weight loss journey. I'm going to go in with this next. This is the Millennial License to Glow Serum. This brand is so underrated. It's Nikki Tutorials brand, and I'm obsessed with it. It's some of the best products, I swear. Anyhow, I kind of talked about it a little bit, that I was going to be having a surgery and different things like that, and just due to circumstances, I got hair. Due to circumstances and just things that happened in my personal life, I have had to put that off until March of 2025, which I am still going to be doing. Tirzepatide and semaglutide, Wegovy, and Zepbound, they just made me sick, and to the point to where I just couldn't eat. And for those who don't know, if you don't eat, when you start eating again, you just put on all the weight. So I would not eat while I was taking it, and then the doctor would want to switch me to either another milligram or another medication. And so I would eat in between the time when they were switching me, and then they put me on the next one, and then I'd be sick again. And it was just like terrible. So that's definitely not for me. I know that a lot of people have a lot of really good success stories, but I did watch one of Bunny XO's podcasts, one of what is it called? Ask, Tell, Confess, or something like that. Episodes that she has on her Patreon, and she was talking about being on tirzepatide and having the exact same symptoms as me. And so it just kind of makes sense, like, just not for me, not at all. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and prime, I believe. And I think I'm just going to go in with 2. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go in with 2 today. I'm going to first go in with the Refi primer. I love this primer. It's super duper hydrating. It does have a little bit of tackiness to it, but not quite enough for my liking, which is why I will be going in with this other primer here in just a second. But to kind of go into more detail of what my plans are for 2025, because I do have a lot of them. I did rebrand and rename the channel earlier this year, which I just think came with like growth. Like I said, Morgan Shea has been a part of me for a long time. And for those of you guys who do not know, when I started my very first channel, I used my real name. People were really terrible back then on YouTube. Found out where I lived, found out where I worked. It was a really bad scene, which is why I completely shut down that YouTube channel, and it no longer exists. And so I then started Morgan Shea, which is this channel, and I just decided to rename it because Morgan Shea just isn't me anymore. I feel like that's just a completely different person. I've grew so much in almost 10 years that this channel has existed that, I don't know, I just feel like I'm a new person. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. And so now coming back after 2 years of being gone, I'm Morgan the Millennial, and that's what my name's going to be here on social media. I've changed it on every platform. My Instagram also got hacked and I couldn't get it back. It's gone forever with my 112,000 followers that I worked so hard to get. Completely gone. Have to start completely over from scratch on Instagram. I'm still pissed about that. Instagram was zero help. They did absolutely nothing to help me even try to get my page back. They did absolutely nothing. It was actually a joke. Let me turn my air on. I have a little air conditioning unit in the studio because it gets so hot when you have all of these lights. So I'm sorry if you guys hear that and it bothers you. I'm sorry. Okay, so for the primer that I use, I'm also drinking a hottie toddy, you guys, because my throat is hurting so bad. I've been sick the past few days and just a bunch of other things going on. So I made myself a little hottie toddy. I think this spoolie is about to piss the bed because it keeps popping out. Anyways, primer, Nimya, Where It All Starts cream. This is another very underhyped product. It is so good. If you guys have never used Nikki Tutorials brand Nimya, I highly recommend it. You do have to order it off of her website. And for those of you guys who do not know, Nikki Tutorials lives in the Netherlands. So all of her product comes from the Netherlands. So it does take a little while to ship, unless of course you live near the Netherlands. But so worth it. When I tell you the best primer in the world is this one right here. I do believe she changed the component though. So I don't think it looks like this anymore. But it's the same Same primer. I just think, well, I know she changed the components on all of it, like the packaging, but it's the same product. But look how, like, this just wakens the skin up. It adds like this really pretty glow. There's no glitter or anything in it, but it is super duper tacky, and your makeup will stay in place all day long. I absolutely love it. But anyways, plans for the channel. We are bringing back Beauty and Documentary Breakdown. For those of you guys who do not know, back when I first started my channel, aside from beauty, one of my other great loves is true crime, documentaries, things like that. I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in deep brown or dark brown. But yeah, true crime is like one of my greatest passions. I love true crime. It's just so much fun, and to like dig deep into things and like really try to understand the reason why some people behave and think the way that they do. I don't know. It's just something that I'm very interested in, and you guys loved, and I do mean loved, Beauty and Documentary Breakdown. And so I'm bringing it back. And so we will talk about a true crime or a documentary. Usually you guys, I used to do where you guys would recommend, so I would make a post on my Instagram. I'll probably do it on either Instagram or Snapchat, where you guys can, you know, share whatever true crime or documentary you guys want to go over that week. And yeah, we'll do it the same way that we always did, and I'm super duper excited about it to bring it back. So that's something that's in the works. I also am working on this other project of something that I have wanted to do for like a really, really long time. Another little passion project. Basically, these are my thoughts on it. So I already have one interview kind of scheduled with someone that I've known for like years and years. She actually was my best friend growing up. And just to talk about different things people have gone through. They may suffer from like an addiction. They may, you know, have really bad anxiety problems, or there's one person that I'm going to be doing an interview with who actually was homeless for the past, I think, 6 years, and has come out through the other side of it. Like, they actually now own a business and are super duper successful, and it's actually a really, really, really awesome story, and I'm super excited for them to be able to share their story. And I don't know, I feel like I got really lucky with my platform. All of my subscribers have always been super duper opening and not judgmental at all. I do not care about a subscriber count. For anyone who might be new, if you're disrespectful or judgmental, I do not care. You will be deleted. Like, I will block you. I'll block 15 accounts if I have to. Honestly, it's not about that for me. For me, it's about the art of it all. It's about being able to have a creative outlet for myself. This isn't about getting famous or being an influencer for me. So you can take that shit to someone else's page where all they care about is themselves and the views and all of that, because that's not what this is about over here. Matter of fact, you probably will never see ads on this page, meaning I can't help what YouTube does. If you don't have YouTube Premium, I can't really do anything about that. But as far as like sponsorships, stuff like that, unless it's something that I genuinely use or something that I genuinely am into, you're not going to see it on here. I think I might have had, even in this channel's prime, I've only worked with, what, Pretty Little Thing, which I still wear to this day. Duval Spin Brush sponsored me. I still use that damn brush to this day. Even though I kind of do have a little bit of beef with the old PR person for them. They're no longer the PR person, which makes complete and total sense because he was an ass. And then like Skin Food. Like I think I've only had like 3 different brands that I've worked with because, you know, obviously they reach out. It doesn't matter if you have 100 subscribers, they'll reach out to you just because it's way more affordable than creating a commercial or doing a billboard in Times Square. It's much more affordable for them to just hire, you know, 25 or 30 micro influencers is what they call them. So gross. To talk about their brand. But if you're new here, that's not what this is about. I could give literal 2 shits about clout or about being an influencer or being famous or any of the above. This is my creative little outlet, like I said. So we're all going to be kind to each other in the comments. We're all going to treat each other like people. And if you can't, then I'm not the person for you to be watching. There are so many other people on this platform for you to go and find a community that works for you. But that's not what this community is going to be about. Anyways, going in with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot. And the only reason I'm going in with this is because my P. Louise is literally gone and hasn't gotten delivered yet. And I honestly had to reorder another one. I hate to say anything negative about P. Louise because I genuinely love their brand, like one of my favorite brands. But I ordered an order from P. Louise. I ordered a blush, an eyeshadow palette, and 3 of my eyeshadow primers. The Rumor 01 shade is my favorite. And I ordered those back in October and they just never got delivered. So I just created another order. Tried talking in the little chat thing that they have on their website, and it genuinely didn't do a thing. So any hoozy hazy, we just created another order. It's no big deal. I do like the paint pot, just not as much as the P. Louise. The P. Louise is more of like a creamy base and it's really tacky, whereas the MAC paint pots are more of like a powdery base. But it still does the job. No big deal. It still does what it's supposed to do. Which I ended up getting so many messages from you guys earlier this year on TikTok when MAC, you guys were singing MAC in Ulta. I was like, that's so funny that they're thinking of me. But you guys know, I love MAC. I still use so many of their products to this day. They're just like old faithful, you know? Some of the first makeup products that I remember purchasing is when we got our MAC counter in our mall, and I went ham. My nanny, for Christmas that year, I was like, I just want to go to the MAC counter in the mall. We didn't have a MAC store or anything. We just had a counter. And I was like, I just want to go to the counter in the mall and just buy stuff. And I did. I remember getting my first Myth by MAC lipstick and a Painterly paint pot and eyeliner, foundation. I mean, I think it's around here somewhere. Maybe not. That's odd. Oh, here she is. This is what I was looking for. Still use all kinds of MAC stuff. Love MAC. She is that girl for sure. Anyways, I'm just adding a little bit of this underneath the eye and around my nose as well, just for the discoloration. I have really, really bad rosacea, so I use the paint pots to, I really prefer the NARS one, but I've already got this one out, so. MAC, apparently paint pot, it'll be. Okay, brows are done. And I am still very much a 2016 makeup girly. I am not, I'm not into the like clean girl makeup, so if that is what you're into, just know that's not what this little toot toot is about to be. It's not. Oh, it won't let me translate it. I'm sorry, I can't read your comment. It won't let me translate it for some reason. It normally has the well, it used to on the lives have the little translate button, and it doesn't anymore. So I'm not ignoring you, I just, my translating button is gone. Alright, I'm just going to take this brush and just really make sure that this is blended out, because fun fact, what makes you feel cakey is not the powder. It is any cream that is underneath the powder. If it's not completely blended into the skin, that powder has nothing to absorb into. So it's just all sitting on top of the skin, which in turn makes you feel cakey. So just a little fun fact I thought I'd share with you guys. Same with your eyeshadow bases. Make sure they are pressed into the skin. And boom, let's go ahead and start with eyeshadow. This palette I have used a bazillion times this year. You guys are going to see here in a second. I've already hit pan on 2 of them, almost 3 of them. This is by Millennial as well, Nikki Tutorials brand. It's called The Palette, and I love it. I do know that she came out with a new eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna have to get her, because I've been hearing a lot of really good things about her. Alright. I'm going to take this Morphe brush. It's just a good blending brush that no longer has any numbers. And I'm going to use that shade B for Basic as my transition shade. And I hope everyone had a really good holiday. Mine definitely was interesting, that's for sure. A lot of things that I don't really want to get into on social media, but also a lot of really good things and happy memories. And you know, as time goes on, things changes, people get older. It's just crazy to watch my nieces and nephews and see the little people that they are becoming, because it's just so wild. You know, looking back on Christmases past when they've been little, and you know, it's just hard when they get older. It's getting hard for me. You know, Christmas is still magical, but I feel like when they were younger, it was just so much more magical to them. It's just a little bit different now, you know, the older they get. Okay. Now, taking this Morphe brush, this one has a little bit more of like a dome shape to it. It's more of a tapered brush, and I'm going into Never Boring. This is probably one of my most favorite eyeshadows of the year, most used for sure. Pretty much every time I did my makeup in 2024, I used this shade. It's just so pretty. It's more of like a blush shade, which I mean, I guess is kind of clean girl aesthetic. You guys know that I do blend my shadows right up into the front of the brow. And if you didn't know, the reason that I do that is because it does help contour the face. So it's going to help for later. And I'm just going to do my normal little team here. This is basically like my 2024 makeup look, honestly. This is what I did for the better part every single day in 2024. But do you see how that's already starting to shape the nose? That is what you want, and that is why we blend it like that. You'll see once you put your foundation and stuff on, you'll see what I mean. Makeup always kind of looks crazy before it looks good anyway. Alright, now I think I just want to go back in with that first brush with a little bit of B for Basic, just to kind of marry those two a little bit more together. Perfect. And then I am going to take Hearth's Heaven out of this palette, and I'm going to take this little bitty blender. And we're going to focus this right out here on the outer edge of Funky Town. And I do have a hooded eye, so I do go just a little bit above where my actual crease is. And then do little circular motions and blend that out, honey. And I'm going to deepen it up just a wee bit more. This is an interesting color because in the pan, it looks like a really, really deep brown. But once you start putting it on, it kind of has a grayish tone to it. A very interesting color for sure. Which I don't know if that's just because it needs to be built up, not builded up, Morgan, good Lord. If that's the case, that's fine. And we'll just build her up, you know? I'm going to build her up even more. So I want her to be as close to that deep brown as we can get. And I think that's where we're going to keep her at. We'll go ahead and start on this other side of the eye. This has a little bit of a shimmer to it too. It's a very interesting shade for sure. Just a little bit more in here. All right, now I'm going to cut the crease. All right. Just take some concealer here. Let's cut this crease, honey. I still love good cut crease. I know that people are like, oh, that's so 2016, that's so blah, blah, blah. I don't care. As we already discussed, 2016 makeup is what I live for. It's a very interesting color. Once it's on the skin, it's more of like a plum brown. It has kind of like a purpley hue to it. It's very interesting. And it's one that I feel like I don't remember seeing like Nikki tutorials like gravitate towards. And I could totally see like a black or a purple, but like a one that looks like full on brown in the pan and then comes out more plum. All right, now for the lid. Oh no. I don't know what that was either. I could do a couple of different options here for the lid. But I think I'm going to do a top glitter, and I'm just going to put the shade Swish Swish. The shade I'm just going to put all over the lid. I think that's what we're going to go with. This one has some glitter already over it, so I just want to clean it off. So Laura Lee Los Angeles, this is the L19 brush. Just like something to kind of go in underneath that and also kind of brighten it up a little bit. Another one of my favorite shades from the palette. And then I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and touch up this outer edge here. Just so that it's more of like an ombre out instead of like this harsh. That's what we don't want. And then just kind of go back and forth. If you need to get it a little bit more even. That way it's nice and, you know, like I said, a nice gradient fade instead of like a harsh. Just a suggestion. All right, and then I'm going to do glitter. And I'm going to use these little ColourPop glitters here. I'm going to use the shade. This is shade Flutter by ColourPop. And I need this brush. I'll leave it. This isn't the one I was looking for, but it'll do. It shall do. This is the one I'm going to go with. This is another Morphe brush. It's kind of shaped like that. And I'm going to go in with this beautiful glitter. It's kind of got a little bit of a purpley tint to it, which I feel like is going to look really, really good because this shade, like I mentioned, has kind of like a plum undertone. So I feel like it's going to look really, really pretty. Yeah, I think that's pretty. So pretty, gosh. Maybe I should have used this color more. This is one of my least used out of my ColourPop glitters. I love their glitter shadows. They are so good. You do not need a glitter glue at all. You can most certainly use a glitter glue if you wanted to, but you do not need them with these ColourPop glitter shadows at all. Like at all. Okay, so now I think we're going to do a glitter liner. I think that's what this look needs, is a little bit of a glitter liner. So actually have a purple that I'm thinking we're gonna dip into. These are just off of Amazon. I think I just, wait, are these dried out? Oh, are these dried out? Hold on. Okay, that one's not an option. That is dry as the desert, honey. Honey. I might be able to put a little bit of oil in here to kind of zhuzh it back to life, but I don't know if that's going to work. See if that does anything. If not, then this one definitely isn't going to be the color we're going to use. Oh, nay, nay. Nay, nay, nay. All right, toss that one. Let's see. Let's do this pink color. Let's see what it's looking like. Okay, she's looking a little bit more fresh, but that's a little bit more of a reddy pink, and that is definitely not the vibes. Oh, here we go. Pink. Here we go. Oh yeah, she's pretty. So pretty. That is really, really pretty. And I just looked up eye glitter liners on Amazon, and these popped up. I just repurchased them when I run out. You get like a set of like 12, I want to say, for under $10, and you get every shade under the moon. So pretty. I feel like it just adds a little bit extra of a something something, you know? Just a little bit. Okay, so we can put all of these brushes away because that is good until we do our lower lash line. So I'll keep those two out for that. Also, I'm sitting here like trying to rub it off, and it's like, it stays really good. You will have to have eye makeup remover to get it off. Okay, next up, I'm going to clean up my eyes a little bit here. I just dipped it in a little bit of eye makeup remover. Always bring a little washcloth with me for this right here, just because I never really know where the eyeshadow look is going before I sit down, you know. It's all just comes with the creativity of it all. I think that's why I like it so much, because you have creative freedom to do, you know, whatever you want. All right, foundation. Starting off with my all-time favorite foundation, the Hourglass. Vanish Stick Foundation. I do believe this is in the shade Buff, but now they have numbers on them. So this says 6. So do with that what you will. Oh no, what did Laura Lee just post? The end of an error? What is happening? Oh no. I'm scared. I have been wondering though if her and Tyler are going to move to Florida. I know they bought a house there, so I'm just curious. Are they going to move to Florida? Do you guys think they would move to Florida? I feel like they would. Now that Erin, like, she's been with the same guy for like a few years now. Like, she's fully has her own life. I feel like they might. I mean, I know that Laura and Manny have the podcast, and Laura is all about LA, but I feel like they would still most definitely. This is the Marc Jacobs Super Shock in shade 130. I do feel like they would still keep their LA house, because I feel like for Laura's job, you know, until she like fully retires from the internet, which she would be stupid to right now, because she has really regained momentum in 2024. Like, I feel like Laura kind of rejoined the map. I feel like, I don't want to say she fell off, but I definitely feel like things most certainly changed for her before 2024. And I feel like 2024, she really like came back, you know? And then just for a little bit of, I use this one more for like a peachy undertone. I do an orangey undertone. And then I really like a pinky undertone. So one that it's gonna either come off really, really pink, or it's gonna come off really, really orange is how those foundations usually come out. And this is one of my another favorite of 2024. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Skin Tint. I love this stuff. It is so good. However, mine came with a broken pump, so we're just gonna do it this way. This is only for my face anyways. All of my client stuff is in my client bag. I do not use my personal items on my clients. And I'm going to use this brush. This came out of the set from the TikTok shop. If you follow me on other socials, then you know what I'm talking about. I've been raving about this brush set since I got it like 2 months ago. It is worth every nickel, dime, penny, and it reminds me so much of Morphe or MAC brushes. They're so good. And this kabuki that it came with, you guys know I'm not a brush, well, those of you who have been following me for a long time know I'm not a brush with the liquids type of gal, but this brush set had me changing some opinions. I'm just going to say this kabuki is really, really nice. Really, really nice. And then you see, once I blend all three of those shades together, it matches my neck, but my rosacea is so bad on my face, I do have to mix 3 different undertones together to really get it to match my actual skin tone. Like, there's not just one shade that I can use. And I'm also going to overpaint over some of this eyeshadow on the inner corner. As I mentioned, the reason why I blend it like that is more for, it's more of like an under contour vibe than it is really anything else. Then I'm going to take what's left on the kabuki and put it on the little butt of my sponge. And this is the painted sponge. I really hate that I love this sponge so much, because most of you who have been well, all of you who have been following me know my feelings about James Charles. Ooh. But I love this sponge, and I actually got it as a gift. And I hate to admit this, but I did repurchase it. This one's only a couple of months old, and I actually just cleaned it with my soap, and she's just as good as that. I mean, it's a really good sponge. I mean, you do what you want. I get it 100%. If you don't feel comfortable purchasing something from his brand, 110%. But unfortunately, I really fell in love with this sponge. I really like it. I haven't purchased any other of his products. Even though I did come very tempted on the canvas palette. I'm not gonna lie. The shades in there really speak to me. They're shades that I would use a lot. And you guys know my eyeshadow palette collection. Well, again, those of you guys who've been following me for a long time know my eyeshadow palette collection is in no need of a new palette. Let's just say that. But that palette really spoke to me. I really still love it. But I've been waiting to see if anyone comes out with a palette that's similar. I do not buy the like DH Gate, you know how they'll come out with everybody's eyeshadow. No, I'll buy their fake handbags all day, do not get me wrong, but a eyeshadow palette, no, because a lot of eyeshadow palettes today are different. The actual, why can I not think of this? Ooh. Formulas, wow, that they come out with to make these shades okay for your eyes and your face. It's not, when you smell the eyeshadow, I've done a YouTube video on this. You can go, it's way back, but you can go back and find it. I've done a whole face of, I think it was actually Alibaba maybe, or maybe it was Wish. I can't remember. But I did a whole face of it. And I have really tough skin. The only thing I have is rosacea, but my skin otherwise is extremely tough. I could probably damn near put battery acid on my face. Like, swear to God. My face is like, can take the heat. And my eyes watered for 7 days straight. Like, watered profusely. Even after I washed my face. I ended up taking the lip off completely because it burnt. That was the one thing that actually burnt. And matter of a fact, there was one shade that didn't burn, and it was just too good, and I kept it, and I still have it all these years later. It's going to take me just a second to find it because I do have a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills lippies, but this one's fake. Here it is. It is a red, and it is beautiful, and I actually had the real Anastasia Beverly Hills in this color red, and this one was just better. I don't know what the fuck is in it, so don't buy it. But it is really pretty. I actually wore this in our Christmas pictures that we had done. It is so pretty. It does say Anastasia Beverly Hills on it, but there's no like, here's where you can see it's not real, but everything else, the component looked identical. Let me, like, no, that's a lip gloss. Let me show you this other red that I really loved. And okay, here's one. This is by ColourPop. See, they're similar, but they're different. And the reason I like this Anastasia one is because it has that blue undertone. This is one that comes pretty damn close. This is Jacqueline Cosmetics in Bow. Part of her Christmas collection from however many moons ago. This one's gorge too. You can see it also is blue undertoned. But this one is more of a lip, what did she call these? Lip vinyls. And it does not dry down matte. It dries like, it's actually by KVD. It dries down more like a vinyl. It doesn't, it's like a cream. It doesn't dry down matte or anything. So, and a red lip that doesn't dry down matte, if it's not a lipstick, that's testing some shit, you know? Okie dokie, artichokes. Let's get into contour. The one that I've used all year and love is the LYS No Limits. I like the shade, or prefer the shade Harmony. I do like the lighter one too. It's just too light for my taste. I like a nice chiseled face. And I feel like Harmony is just my girl, you know? She gets me. And ever since I seen Miss Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham, do the little X's on her forehead, and I tried it, I can't go back. Also, what I went viral for this year on TikTok was my double chin hack. And I'm glad that so many people enjoy it. It actually is the only hack that I've found that actually does get rid of your double chin. Like, it's like double chin no more. And for those of you guys who did not see the hack, I'm about to show you, obviously. But yeah, this stuff blends like butter. I don't fall into all of the Michaela Noguero and Meredith Duxbury things because they're literally sponsored on every fucking post. So I try to be really careful about the shit that I fall into, but the LYS one's actually good. You can take that to the bank because ain't nobody paying me a dime to say that shit. All right, this is the Laura Lee Los Angeles L12 brush. You guys know I love Laura Lee Los Angeles brushes. They are so good, so underrated, so underhyped. It's really unfair. But some of you guys listen to me and actually go and buy things that are actually good instead of having someone that's getting paid, you know, $250,000 to tell you that it's good. And this is the double chin hack. We're going to follow that line and make sure you go up on the side. I watched a lot of videos of people duetting me, and this is one part they didn't do. They didn't go up in front of the ear. Make sure you go in front of the ear, okay? And then on this line, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to go up and kind of draw a line. And do you see the difference? You're welcome. You're welcome. So many people are like, oh my God, in their videos. Like, I had no idea. And I actually had a makeup artist show me this hack years ago, and I've just always done it on myself. I would usually just cut it out of the video or whatever because I didn't think it was that interesting. And then a friend of mine, she was like, no, you need to include that in the video. Like, people are going to want to know this hack. You need to include it in the video. Like, look at that difference. And I was like, okay, sure, you know. So I made a whole video just dedicated to the double chin hack, and people went nuts over it. But yeah, shout out to Lizzie. She is the makeup artist that showed me that hack all those moons ago. It's when I first got into pageantry makeup, and those cameras can be very tough to work with when it comes to makeup. So you have to be really careful, and that is, fun fact, how all of your Miss USAs and Miss Universes, that's how their underpainting is done, just like I just showed you. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. I have used this, again, for many moons. I have two of them, one for my wet product and one for my dry. This is how I blend out my nose contour, and I literally just do a light tapping on it. I don't fully blend it in because I'm going to be going, I still have concealer and blush and everything else, and if I blend it completely out, it's going to completely disappear, and it's going to be like nothing was there. We're going to give ourselves a little chocolate milk stash for our lip contour. I'm going to leave this brush and the wet Sonia Kashuk brush out because we're not going to be done with that. We're still going to be using those. And for blush, guys, this one is a shocker, but this is my new favorite blush, and this was under $4. It was like $3.86 on the TikTok shop, and I bought it to compare to Make It Forever's version because I have the Make It Forever version over there in my other Alex 9, and I hated it. It dried out so fast. No amount of MAC Fix Plus or a dupe that I'm about to show you guys that you guys are going to be obsessed with could fix it. It was just done for, donezo. And so I seen this and I was like, because I love the concept of it, especially as a makeup artist. And so I purchased it and I freaking love it. This is the Carla's Secret blush set. It also comes with contour. These suck. These are no good. No good. No, no, no. But these are chef's kiss. Now, I do mix every shade together most of the time, okay? So mine is going to look a little messy because I blend them all together. But trust when I say that all of the shades are they look exactly like what you see here. So you're getting 6 blushes for $4 on TikTok Shop. So good. Highly recommend. You can see where I've tried these. They're just not good. There's no pigment to them. They don't blend worth a shit at all. They kind of just set on the top of your skin and it's just not the move. But I mean, even if you're just getting them for the blushes, I still think that's worth it. I mean, you can hardly find one blush for $4. It's good. But today I'm going to stick to these 2 shades right here. This is probably my second favorite combo. So I just have to clean off the top and then go down in because, like I said, most of the time I do mix. But these 2 together, the past probably month, have been my new obsession. Look at that. So pretty. And I have the Rhode Piggy blush. This one reminds me, these 2 mixed reminds me so much of Piggy. It looks almost identical to Piggy. Also, ignore my brows. I'm trying to train my arch, so I'm not trimming it for the live, but here in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to get rid of those hairs, but not quite yet. We're training and growing out our brows right now. All right, and then I'm gonna mix it for the next side. Look how pretty. So gorgeous. I just love a nice pretty pink. And I've also found a lot of times with like more affordable blushes, they kind of disappear. The liquid ones do. Let me know if you guys have experienced anything like that. But it's almost like they disappear, like they just don't stay on the skin underneath all of your you know, other products. These stay. Like, these are so good. I'm nowhere near hitting pan, which was another issue with the Make It Forever. So good. And my favorite shades are these 2 mixed together, all of them mixed together, or this little guy and this guy. So pretty. These are gorgeous too. These are more they're a lot similar. The only difference is if you look really close, you can kind of see a little bit more of a reddy tone. So this one's more of like a cool tone. This one's more cool tone. This one's more warm tone. But still really pretty. Really pretty. And then you guys are going to think I'm insane if you're new here for what's about to happen with my concealer situation, but whatever. We listen and we don't judge, okay, in 2025. I'm going to take a couple of sips of my hot toddy because it seems to be the only thing that's helping my throat right now, which I need desperately. And I'm not going to even attempt to correct my brow until we're done here because there's no point. All right, first up, all-time favorite, Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is in the shade Almond, and this one is mostly just going to be for actual color correction. This is more like my actual skin tone, and so I just use this in a very thin layer, and that's literally the only place that I put that, but it is necessary for the combo that you guys are about to see. Main concealer is the Lancome. This is the Tinte Idol Ultra Wear All Over Concealer in the shade 090. Yeah, 090. I love the doe foot on this. She's nice and large and in charge. And she is a lot brighter, okay? And I love her. I am obsessed with this Lancome concealer. I feel like not many people use her, but I feel like you should take a chance. She's not as expensive as the foundation, by the way. So I was sending recommendations to a friend of mine the other day because she got some gift cards. I feel like that's when my DMs get hit up the most, and my text is right after Christmas when everybody's got their gift cards and they're like, what should I buy? What shouldn't I buy? And I sent her this and she was like, oh my God, the foundation is crazy expensive. And I was like, yeah, this isn't the foundation. This is the concealer. And it's on sale right now on Ulta for 26 bucks. So snag it before it goes back up in price. Otherwise, you have no one to blame but your literal self, and I don't want to hear it. I'm going to do just a little bit right here and a little bit right here. I do not blend really far down with this one in this area just because I don't want it to look like whiteout, and that's one of my makeup pet peeves. Now this one, unfortunately, if you do purchase it, you're going to have to go to Mercari, Poshmark, eBay. Amazon may still have some, but I can't guarantee that they're going to be real. And you will know if they're real or not if all of this is in rose gold. So this needs to be in rose gold, and the writing needs to be in rose gold. Okay. And I can't promise you that I didn't purchase every single one she had left on her website, because I purchased 19 of them. I know, but I can't live without it. I can't. This is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Skin Perfecting Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Peach. It's literal whiteout, and I use it on the inner corner. She is not full coverage, okay? So this is not going to be one that you're going to go in by itself, because it's not going to give you what you're wanting. This is only for highlighting purposes, that's all. And I buy the very lightest shade, which is Fair Peach, and we love her. Now, if you've been following me on TikTok or you've been watching my Facebook Lives, then, oh my gosh, the itch is just driving me nuts. Then you've heard of this setting spray a zillion times this year, because I discovered it this year and I shared it with all of you guys. This is a dupe for MAC Fix Plus. It smells just like it. It works just like it. And my makeup lasts just like it does with MAC Fix Plus. And it is between $5 and $8. It kind of bounces around. Sometimes it's on sale for $5. Sometimes it goes to its regular price for $8. But it's between those price range. It's never over $8. LA Girl setting spray. It's called Fix and Set. MAC Fix Plus. LA Girl setting spray Fix and Set. So good, and I've never found anything that has that smell other than MAC Fix Plus. This does. You can get it at Ulta. I'm sure LA Girl has a storefront or website, I mean, but I just buy it directly off of Ulta, or go in store and buy it. They always have it in store. Because no one ever buys it. It's crazy to me too, because it is such a fantastic setting spray. I love it. And I don't use any other setting spray. You guys know. That's been keeping up with me. At least for the past year, because I discovered it early on, I believe. Or maybe it was late 2022. I don't know. There's a TikTok that I made with John JP. I made a TikTok with him of him guessing the cost of my stuff from Sephora or from Ulta, and he guessed that was $50 something. I was like, no, it was $5. But I did just repurchase it on my last Ulta order, so this is like maybe a month and a half old. And it was $8, so, which is the most I've ever paid for it. But $8 in comparison to what some of them cost is, I'm fine with. I'm completely and totally fine with paying that. You know, some of these setting sprays, I'm like, is it gonna park my car? Is it gonna pay my taxes? You know, is it going to pay my mortgage? What is it else is it going to do? Is it going to put supper in the oven and make our plates? I don't understand. I was literally watching this girl's TikTok and she was talking about this setting spray like it literally saved lives as a second job. Like raving about the setting spray, and she was like, it's $72. I'm like, for a fucking setting spray? Are you shitting me? We don't, no ma'am, no, I don't fucking think so. Not, and I am an avid makeup collector, makeup lover. You guys know I have things in my vault from all different times and all different types of costs and price, you know, they range. But I don't give a shit. I do not care. Unless that motherfucker is actually going to be curing cancer, I'm not paying $70-something for a setting spray. You know, and that is kind of the same thing as the fucking Evian in a spray bottle. It's like people will literally do anything to go onto a train, like a popularity train. It's like, bitch, you do realize you just bought bottled water, correct? And you spent quadruple what it would cost if you went down to the Sunco or the Weigels or the Pilot or wherever, the 7-Eleven, and bought a bottle of Evian. You could have done that, went to the Dollar Tree, bought a spray bottle, and still not spent the same that you just spent on Sephora's website for Evian. You bought water. I can't. I literally cannot. Okay, now, before we set our face, I'm going to go back in with my bronzing brush. This, I've not added any more product to it. It has the product that was already on it. But the reason that I do this is because before I set my face, I didn't do all of that prep for nothing. This is another makeup artist tip / pet peeve. If you go through all of that work of liquid contouring, liquid blushing, all of these things, and then you just slap setting powder on top and you don't make sure everything is nice and airbrushed and blended, I'm going to slap the brush out of your face. I'm going to slap the powder poof right out of your hands. Do not do that. You just wasted all of that time, babe, because now you've set everything and you can't see anything. So don't do that to me. So I'm just going to go back in with my blush brush as well. Just add a little bit more pigment to the party. She's still there, but we're just adding some more pigment. And actually, I'm going to add a little bit more. I normally do not do this, but we're going to do this today because I just feel like I want a little bit more blush because the eyeshadow is giving, you know, pinky purpley vibes, and I just don't feel like it's going to look right with the blush situation that we have going on right now. Look at that. Literally $4 on the TikTok shop. Now don't say that I've not done nothing for you, because I just did. Okay. So pretty. I love it. I love it. Love, love, love this blush. Live, laugh, love it. All right. And then I'm just going to go back in with my sponge just so that we make sure that we're not setting creases, okay? We don't need none of that. And then I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk brush that I use for my wet products, and I'm just going to go back over that nose contour. Just very lightly. Nothing crazy, not adding any more product. And we are ready to set this mug, okay? All right, now, Laura Mercier, this is the translucent powder in the shade Rose. This is a cult classic, but the shade Rose is just Chef's Kiss. It's Gorgina. And I'm also going to be using the thing everybody else is now using, that everybody used to give me so much shit for using this thing. I told y'all it was good. Y'all just needed somebody with 10 million followers to tell you guys. I'm just kidding. This is the Beauty Blender Powder Poof. And it's the best one. It's so good. I take that, I tap off any excess, And we're gonna set that mug, honey. Look at that. Ah, so good. And the pink is going to brighten your under eyes. Now, if your skin is deeper toned than mine, so if you've got a deeper skin tone, you're going to want to do the yellow one. There's like a banana one. You're going to want to do that one. You're not going to want to do the pink because it's not going to come off pink for you. It's going to come off white. Unless you really want like a super duper bright under eye, which I do too. I'm going to be using another powder here in just a second after I do my contour and my blush, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. Technically I guess I use 3 powders, but if you just want a regular set under eye, you're going to keep it with the banana, not the rose. But if you're my skin tone, this is just going to be a brighter version of translucent. So translucent is bright, but it's not going to be as bright as rose. Rose is really going to brighten you up. Any pinky undertone. And I'm only going to let this set just long enough really to place it there. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe this away. I'm not really a fan, and I'm also going to wipe away any extra setting powder. I'm not really a fan of the putting your contour on with this baking. I always feel like you see little choppy looking marks or something. I don't know. It's weird. I don't vibe off the beat with it. But I do need my, where is she? Here she is. This is Laura Mercier Translucent. This is what we're going to set our neck with. And it is imperative that it is a good setting powder. If you do this hack with the contour, this is just going to give it more of that filtered effect. It's not going to cause any type of like flashback or anything. And it's really going to help in pictures to keep that double chin hack that you just worked so hard to achieve. Okay, next, Laura Mercier. Laura Mercier, Jesus God, Lancome Absolute Powder in the shade Absolute Golden. This is like a pinky powder that has a little bit of a sheen to it. And I'm going to show you guys how I'll use it. I'm going to take, I know it has. I'm going to take like a big powder poof, and we're going to start right on the cheekbone and work our way down. And this is going to add that skin-like glow back to the skin. Jaclyn Hill talked about this powder moons ago, and from what I understand, she still uses it. She did create one of her own that I loved as well. I am back. I am back. We're bringing back Beauty and Documentary Breakdown, which I'm so excited about. For those of you guys who have been here a while, you guys know we talk about a true crime or a documentary, and you guys vote for it. We used to vote for it on Instagram. My Instagram got hacked, and so any of you who are following me on Instagram, do not follow Morgan Shea on Instagram. That is not me, obviously. You can obviously tell that that is a fake account and a fake person. I am now Morgan the Millennial on all social medias. Any hoozy hazy, we're going to do the voting on Snapchat. I may still be Morgan Shea on Snapchat. That might be the only platform that I am still Morgan Shea. But I will have everything linked in the description box once this live is up. But yes, yeah, guys, after I finish doing this live, I'm going to be filming a story time. And yeah, we're back. Live action, you guys. Buckle up, bitches, because this is about to be crazy. I'm so excited. And man, oh man, do I have a story time for you bitches. You guys are going to gag when you hear this story, number one. I still, like, it's been like 4 months and I still cannot believe that a person actually did this to me. Like there's actually a human being that breathes the same air, shits the same way. Literally, this came out of a human being's mouth. They did this. They did this to me. Like, and are still doing it to other people. Like, bitch. Anyways, y'all just wait. All right, now we need to bring some life to this face before I even brighten my under eyes even further. So, for contour, I have the hack of the century, or the dupe of the century again. We all got to know this bronzing powder right here. Yes, you get a lot of product. Yes, obviously I love it. Look, the pan is showing, okay? Love this bronzing powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. So beautiful. But I found a dupe, and it is exact, okay? When I tell you that this is an exact dupe, it's just like this one right here, okay? Same formula. It smells the same. It behaves the same. It stays the same. It blends the same. It's gorgeous. And where this is 50 doll hairs, this is 6 doll hairs. Last time I bought it on Ulta, it was $6.99, bitch. What the fuck? Okay? I don't know what they did, but take them to Judge Judy. You all are my judge. You all understand that at this point? Like, this is where I come to barf on you. Like, let everything out. Like, this is my diary. That you all are my friends. Like, I will let you all be the judge in this situation, and you guys can let me know whether, because she thinks to this day that I am in the wrong, even though she stole from me, okay? Put in four, I don't want to give the whole story away, but 4 credit card applications in my name. It gets better. Took my social security card and driver's license out of my wallet while I was taking a nap at her house, because she just knew I was so heartbroken and distraught and I needed somewhere to sit and rest. She gets her little gritty fingers in my wallet and takes my social security card and driver's license. I've just left an interview, you guys. Just left an interview. Took them in her dirty office and took a print of both. That's not even the half of it, you guys. This shit, this story runs deep. You guys are gonna gag. You guys are going to fucking gag. And if you've been following me since 2016, there was a video with her. It is now deleted, but there was a video with her on my channel. Now, you would have had to have been following me from the beginning because it was one of my first videos, but yeah. Any hoozy hazy. Anyway, Pussycoo, this right here, Essence Sun Club Luminous Bronzing Powder, is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury. Looks exactly the same. Works exactly the same. Smells exactly the same. Hell, they even did a huge ass pan exactly the same. Exactly the same. And guys, this is $6 fucking dollars. Are you kidding me? I'm obviously going to use my Morphe M143 brush. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I kind of like this one a little bit more. If there was one complaint I had about the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer, was that there wasn't very much pigment. And if you're like me and you like a nice bronzy like glow, then you would have to dig and dig and dig to build up the bronzer. Like it's not just gonna come off like that. But this one, it is super pigmented. So you are gonna need to be a careful girl in these streets, okay? It is very pigmented. So you will need to be careful, especially if you are not like me and you are not into the 2016 makeup of it all, which I am. So I don't give a shit. I am still into the full glam of it all. I have no want, need, or desire to be in these streets in clean girl makeup. I love you if that is your vibe. If that is your vibe and you're vibing off the beat to 2024 clean girl makeup, by all means, you do you and you love life, okay? But that is not my vibe. A tool, my dear. Okay. Sonia Kashuk brush. Someone really cool just followed me back on TikTok. This is the Sonia Kashuk brush. Same brush I use for the wet product, but this is dry. I don't know if I could ever go on Judge Judy. However, back in the day when I was on drugs, this is another story time I need to tell. I actually got really fucked up one night and reached out to Jerry Springer, and they agreed to have me on. And the girl that was my best friend at the time, we were kind of like running around. I hope you've never been a drug addict, but if you have, then you kind of know that we always like to run in pairs. We always have like a group, you know. They wouldn't agree to go with me. So it was an all or nothing deal for Jerry. May he rest in peace. But anyway, another product you cannot get off the website anymore. You can still find this. Again, it's going to be on like Mercari, Poshmark, eBay. You might be able to find it on Amazon. Not exactly sure. But it's the Jaclyn Cosmetics Bronze and Blush Duo. And this is the shade Oh Honey. I love this. Just as like kind of like a little bit of a topper. Now this is one that also doesn't have very much pigment, but it has a nice glow. It's not glittery. It has like a glow, and it just adds a little bit of like that skin like type glow back to the skin, which I love. So that's the only reason I use it. Just as like a little bit of a glow, you know. And guys, fun fact, I do still believe that I'm allergic to setting powder. It always makes my nose run every single time without fail. Okay, for powder blush, I'm going to go into another favorite of the year. This is the Full Fantasy palette by Laura Lee Los Angeles and Lunar Beauty. It's their collab. And this bad bitch right here is so good. I also love I love all of these. I've also used this one as a bronzer, and it's really pretty as a bronzer. I don't love the highlights. I'm gonna be real. I was very disappointed in the highlights. They just weren't for me. That's the gold one. This is the one I was excited about, which is Nude Champagne. I don't know. They look the same to me, if I'm being real. One just has a little bit more pink to it. I don't know. Didn't love it, but love the blushes. I'm going to use Rose Skyline today, which is this one right here. And I'm going to use my Laura Lee Los Angeles L14 brush. It's more of that same shape, so it really hugs the cheekies. Look how pretty. Guys, this blush is so beautiful. I absolutely love it. And we're just going to hug that cheeky area. I love it. I also did order that Kosas pink powder. Honestly, just because I've now seen enough videos to where I genuinely do feel like it does blur the way that they're showing that it does in these TikToks. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know if it's actually going to be worth the money. Alright, so now, and we have to be very careful with this step, so please listen to me closely. I'm going to spray my face pretty much drenched. I'm going to grab my fan. I'm going to let my face go all the way dry. I'm not going to touch my brows. I'm not going to touch a thing. I'm going to let this come completely to a dry, okay? You know, I got to take a sip of something here. Now, you want to make sure that that's dry because of how potent this brightening powder is about to be, okay? Now, me and this powder went around and around this year, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. We had our trials and we had our tribulations. And I didn't know that I loved her at first. I had to learn how to use her. You are going to have to be extremely careful with this powder. This is the Kimchi Puff Puff Pass in the shade Evander. It needs to be this shade. And when I tell you brightening, baby, you've never seen her. This is like a very, very light lavender, pinky, purpley powder. I also learned the powder puff, nay. We need to use a damp sponge, okay? We're going to dip into the kimchi powder. And when you, like, babe, that is white out, okay? We need to get, like, almost all of that off. And I have just been pounding and still, we are, like, bright, okay? Very carefully. We're going to go in on that inner corner. And do you see the difference? Now listen, babe. Listen to me when I tell you. You do not need to dip again. That was a mistake I made. I thought, oh, okay. I used that on this side, so now I need to re-dip to go in on the other. You do not need to do that. You do not need to do that at all. Hold on. I have a taste. Alright, boom. Okay. It brightens the face so beautifully. Just please be very careful. It is going to come with this. Do not use a dry poof. It does need to be damp. And just be very careful because it is extremely, extremely pigmented and extremely, extremely brightening, but so beautiful. And it really does brighten up that inner corner in just such a beautiful way. I love it so much. But again, it was a lot of trial and error, so I did kind of go back and forth with, okay, do I need to do it before I do my under eye? Do I need to do my under eye first? And this is just the way that's worked for me in this particular order. So again, if you really prefer to do your makeup in a specific order and it doesn't work that way, you're not alone, babe. Like, I went through the same thing. It was hard to get into like an actual way to make it work because I had seen it work on so many different people on TikTok. I was like, if it's working the same way for so many different people, like, I have to be doing something wrong. And so I kind of just spent 3 different makeup looks until I finally realized how it works for me. But it is so brightening, more brightening than any powder. It is, I mean, as you can see, a literal filter. So worth it, but just know it did take some time. And I'm just going to tap whatever's left just on the center of the face. And again, just to keep it airbrushed, I'll just go back in with my brush and just, you know, bring some life back. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and fix my brows. I'm just going back in with my Anastasia Dip Brow. If I can reach my brush. Okay. Oh my God, I love Sprite. It's so, like, it burns the back of my throat in the best way. Okay, so now Just gonna touch up my brows. Because pet peeve number 657. I cannot stand a powdery ass brow. There's just quite literally nothing. Well, that's not true. I have a lot of makeup pet peeves, which you guys have been asking for that video on TikTok, so I'm definitely gonna do it because you guys are wanting it like I do one side of my face the way that I do it and the other side of my face with the pet peeves. It's coming. I gotta figure out how exactly I want to do it, because I do want to do it a certain way, and it is going to take some time to film. I was first thinking that I would do the ad video feature, so I would like film both sets separately and then edit them together, and then I thought, God, that would literally take 100 years, but I'm a YouTuber at heart, so I love long form content. And the longer that I can make a video, the longer I will. Like, I just love long form content. So I'm really hoping that YouTube makes the comeback that everybody says that it's gonna make. I really do, because I miss this, you know? Also, these earrings are so goddamn cute. I can't remember the dupes. I think they're, what are they, Balenciagas maybe? But these fucking earrings are so goddamn cute, you guys. And I got them on Amazon. I do think they're also available on Temu, but I would just pay attention to the size, because I wanted these giant ones and they sent me the same ones. I have probably 100 of the medium-sized teardrops, and I didn't want those. I wanted these, specifically the ones Kylie wore. Oh, they're so fucking beautiful. I love them. But you just search like extra large or huge or giant teardrop earrings. How cute are they? They're so gorge. Did you guys know that this is called a kitchen? Somebody told me that the other day. They were like, your kitchen looks crazy. I'm like, my kitchen? They were literally talking about my baby hairs. I'm like, well, unfortunately, your girl went through a mental breakdown in 2024 and bleached her whole head and melted half of her hair off. So, yeah, my kitchen probably looks like fucking dog shit. But what are we going to do? Okay, now, for the lower lash line, I am going to go into this shade right here called Bronzer. I love, 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 live, laugh, love this shade, because it is literally like a bronzer. And you know how everybody's always saying, I just popped some bronzer in the crease? That's literally what this is. It's literally a bronzer, and I just sweep it on the lower lash line, just kind of as like the transition shade. I swear the faces that we make when we do our makeup is probably, I read this on some forum. It might have been Reddit. Someone said that the reason why a lot of women make the faces they do when they put on like their mascara and shit is from like a sleep paralysis demon you've seen. That makes so much sense, because how fucking scary do we look when we do that shit? Like, we look fucking insane. So, I believe that shit. However, I will say, you know, just be smart about what you fucking believe on Reddit, because there are some fucking people with some imaginations on fucking Reddit. I'm just gonna say. Like, some of the shit that I've seen come from Reddit, I'm like, where did you even, like, I don't know this person, but I know good and fucking well that this isn't true. I know good and fucking well that this is somebody on Reddit just like pulling shit out of their ass on a Tuesday. You know? Like, are we that bored in 2024 that we're like, Reddit like really went there this year? You know? Anyway. Sorry guys, I cannot smoke my cigarette on camera. And we all know that Momo loves a cig. All right, now I'm going into Never Boring. This is like the blush shade, which I've used for blush many times this year. If you've been following me, you know that. What? Making a quick trip to Mexico. Oh my God, that's Lindy Hall. I was like, wait a minute. I thought for a minute that was my sister. And I was like, listen, I know we've all been through it this year, but you're going to New Mexico. We live in Tennessee, by the way, so that wouldn't be a quick trip or by any means. Even by plane, that's going to be, you know, an excursion. Cute. Okay, then I really want to take this same small brush that I did the outer corner. Bitch, what the fuck? Outer corner shade. Do you guys see that looks like a dark brown in the pan? It's literally a plum on the eye, so still pretty. Just wasn't what I was expecting, but again, ugh, my nose. This is literally my favorite palette of 2024. But I don't really wear shades like this a lot, like deep browns like this. And so I hadn't used it, and I thought, you know, while we're live today, let's, you know. Ooh, I hate when people do that whistle when they say their S's. Ooh, I hate that I just did that. That was a complete accident for anyone like me that hates that shit. Anyways, I was like, let's try some of my favorites, but also let's, you know, let's try some of the shades I hadn't. Which is literally the only ones I hadn't tried is this one here and the orange. Those are the only two in this whole pack. Oh, and this one. I just don't know where I'm going to use that shade, or like what I would use it for. You know? I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to take some of Disco Stick, which as you can see has been loved this year. And I'm going to use it where I've been using it all year long, just right underneath the brow bone. I've been loving it there. And I'm also hoping, yep, it sure did. Cover them brow hairs right on up, honey. I just love a nice glittery shade right on the brow bone. I'm just a 2016 makeup girl. I just am. I love it. But yes, this palette right here, it's so good. I love it. I love it. Love, love. Okay. Let's go ahead and highlight. I'm going to use my all-time favorite. You guys know this. MAC Soft and Gentle. We don't even have to talk about it at this point, because I use her every day. She will just always be that highlight for me. And I do go in with my highlight, so if you're new here, take a deep breath. Don't freak out. Do not panic. I'm going to take this nice, dense Morphe brush here, and we're going to dig right into Soft and Gentle with it. Mama Cat, I'm in here, baby. Hello? 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 Hi. I know. By the way, guys, I'm a cat person now. I have fucking 3. Can you believe that? So, right around this time last year, so January 31st of last year, there had been this cat, Mama Cat, who had been just like hanging out on our porch. And really quick before I get into this story time, I'm going to take this Morphe 2 stack. This is the Fresh Peach, and the very top one is Peach Swirl. It's a highlight. I'm going to show you guys what I do with it. Anyway, she had been, and this is the Lordly Los Angeles L16. She had been like coming up to my porch every day, and I started feeding her, as one does. And I fell in love with her. And so on January 31st of last year, it came a snowstorm like nobody's business. And I could not imagine her being out in the snow. So I had John go outside, JP, go out and get her and bring her inside. And she has not left since. But the next morning, on February 1st, when we woke up, we noticed, her belly looks really large and in charge. So I texted my cousin who has worked at veterinarian clinics, and I'm like, hey, do you think she's pregnant? She said 1,001%. I'm like, fantastic. So not only am I in love with this cat, but now she's pregnant and she's in my home, and what do we do now? So took her to the vet, done all the things, and the vet confirmed, yes, mama cat is indeed pregnant. And I'm like, okay, so what do we do? Found out she had worms. We had to deal with that. And then around April, it wasn't April, I think it was April the 14th, she gave birth to 4 cats. 4. We already had one, so we already had Mushy. She was the first animal we got together. And she is a gray cat. So beautiful. She has beautiful green eyes. I love her. Then we take in mama cat. Now we're at 2. We find out she's pregnant. She gives birth to 4 more. We're now at 6, babe. 6. And nobody wanted them. And I was like, I am not taking them to the shelter. Like, I'm not doing that. The shelter was very honest with me and said, listen, like, we just have way too many cats and nobody's getting them. And we talked to, let's see, Knoxville, Union County, Claiborne County, Murfreesboro, Middlesboro, I don't know. I would guess between 9 and 10 different places. I mean, we even talked to Loudoun County once because we went up there to change flowers for my grandparents' grave. And we talked to them while we were there. Everybody was telling us the same shit, so we just kept on, and I kept posting on Facebook and all these different places, like, listen, if you want a cat, like, please let me know. I had a couple of people reach out in the early stages that wanted them, and I just got bad vibes. And I knew that they were in a home where they were never hungry, they were never cold, they were never hot, they were safe, and I was just really particular about where they were going to go. Plus, I literally helped birth them. Like, the day that she gave birth, John was like, oh, she's not in labor. I was like, she's fucking in labor. Like, I could just tell. And we were literally having a cookout with the neighbors that day. And I just kept looking at her, and she kept just like breathing really fast. And I'm like, no, babe, like, Google is saying, like, she's about to fucking give birth, bitch. Like, this is happening. Like, you need to tell the neighbors, like, this isn't a good time. Like, we can't be, like, roasting weenies and having a bonfire right now. Like, I can't sit out there and literally socialize with people right now. Like, it's not the time. Well, he didn't listen to me, and here come the neighbors, and guess what? I literally just walk outside to give him the platter with the steaks on it and walk right back in. I was probably outside every bit of maybe not even 5 minutes. I'll give myself some grace here and say I was out there 3 minutes max. And there's a kitten on my fucking couch. So now I'm on the phone with the vet. They're telling me take her, because we have a huge jacuzzi tub in our bedroom that we don't use. And so here I am, like, carrying her and the kitten. She's eat all the stuff. If you don't know about all that, then fucking Google it. But she's gotten rid of all the things, and she's fucking like, like trying to fucking push. And we put her in the jacuzzi tub. I already had everything set up for her to give birth in there. And boom, as soon as I lay her down, she fucking pushes her back leg on the side of the tub, and here comes another one. I'm like, oh my God, I told you this was happening right now. And it was a twin. So we thought that the one twin, they were in the same bubble, I guess you could say. So when the second twin come out, the part of its, whatever you call it, whatever they're in, their birth was busted. And the vet was like, oh, they're twins. That's why they're twins. And I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. They looked literally identical until they got a little bit older. And then one had, we called him Tigger. He literally looked like a tiger. He had his stripes. They looked just like Mama Cat. They were both tabbies, but Tigger's stripes were very, very prominent. They were like a tiger. And the other one, Harley, was more just like a regular tabby cat, like looked just like Mama Cat. We named her Gemini, but we still call her Mama Cat because, well, she's always going to be Mama Cat for us. Any hoozy hazy. Anyway, Pussy Coo, she then pops out a white one, and then that ended up turning more of a cream. Still tabby, still had the little tabby stripes. And the very last one, the runt, she popped out was black with orange little spots. So calico, I believe they call them. I can't remember. Calico, something like that. And I said the minute that she was born, I was like, I'm keeping her. Like, I'm keeping her. She ended up being the only girl. 3 boys and one girl. And we kept them for the 8 weeks because where Mama Cat had worms, we had to wait a certain period of time so that all the kittens could be treated, because they fully intended for all of them to be born with worms. We ended up taking them to the vet. They never got worms. We ended up waiting even 12 weeks before we even posted anything about, you know, rehoming the 3 of them, because the worms didn't come. So the vet was like, well, let's wait another week and let's wait another week. They never did get worms. So we got them all their shots and all of the things, and we started posting like, hey, we have these 3 boy kittens that need homes. 2 are tabbies. One is also, they're all 3 tabbies, but one is more cream than orange. She's not really orange cat, but most certainly had orange cat behavior, 1010%. We already knew who the baby daddy was. He still to this day comes and, you know, will meow in the front yard, up until like 2 months ago, because unfortunately his owners, their home got foreclosed on, and they just decided to leave their cat here. And he now has he had rabies. Like, he literally was evil. And that wasn't like him, because used to he would just come and like meow in the yard and like want Mama Cat, aka Gemini, to come outside, and it got really aggressive. Like, it just wasn't the same. And so we had to call animal control, because like we have dogs as well, and I got nervous. So this is Nick's suede liner, and that was FanFest Mascara by Benefit. This is the NYX suede liner. This is my favorite lip liner. It's in the shade Need Me. I love it. It's just the perfect shade for me, and oh so creamy. So any hazy, they come and they're like, oh, he has rabies, like, which we already knew. Like, John, he had went out there one day and had set a trap, because we live on a farm. So he had a trap set in the backyard, because either a raccoon or possum had been trying to get in the trash, or so we thought. It was a raccoon or possum. And he ended up catching Gemini's baby daddy. And he was like foaming at the mouth and shit, JP said. So anyhow, that's when we called animal control, and unfortunately he had to be put down. But according to animal control in the vet, that's the best when they get rabies like that, because they act that way because they're in pain. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what they told me. And I don't know. It was just really fucking sad. But eventually, after having them up until October, I ended up posting them one more time. And I'm like, listen, if I cannot find them a home, we're going to have to take them to the shelter. Like, they're getting too big. It's just way too much. And I was fucking devastated. I was up all night fucking crying, like thinking I'm going to have to take these cats to the shelter. And I literally started praying. I was like, God, please, if there's someone out there that wants an animal or needs a companionship or whatever, please, please, please let them reach out to me. Literally that night, I found a home for Harley. The next morning, I found one for Taz, the cream one. And I think it was a day later, we found a home. A day or two later, we found one for Tigger, and he was gone. So all of them are rehomed, and we kept Belle, or Annabelle. She is the calico or black one with orange spots. And yeah, those are our babies. And I'm just glad that we still get to, you know, have something to do with the other three, because they just mean so much to me. But I could never get rid of the three I have. Mushy, Mama Cat, and Belle. They're my babies. And then we have our two dogs. We have Lady and Creed. But we also live on a farm with a bunch of land. So the dogs have so much room to just be a dog. So Creed is a beagle. And so he loves to herd the cows and do all of that. And then Lady, she is a Rhodesian Ridgeback mixed with a black mouth cur, and so she looks like Scooby-Doo basically. This is Times Square by ColourPop, my all-time favorite lip color of all time. And I'm going to show you guys how I use this, because this is not the end of the lip combo for me. This is merely the start. So once I do that, I give it a moment to kind of get somewhat dry. I don't want it to be all the way dry, but I want it to be quite a bit. And then I'm going to take this brush. This is the Morphe X Nikita N1 brush. And I'm going to start blending that lip liner and that lipstick. Again, you don't want it to get completely dry, because if you wait for it to get completely dry, it's going to start to ball up and kind of break apart. Ah, got my teeth. Okay. Then once we do that, this is my favorite lipstick of 2024. This is probably my most favorite actual lipstick since, which one is it? God, I can't look because I have too many MAC lipsticks. We'll just hold up a MAC one and pretend this is Myth by MAC. But it's probably my most favorite lip shade since then. This is, and look at that component, how fun. This is Lunar Beauty X L'Oreal Los Angeles in the shade Manny. Like you, I love it. Look at that fucking shade. It's like concealer, and I fucking love a good concealer lipstick. And here's why. Because it's more of a mixer. It's not to be worn as like the actual lipstick itself. It's more to be like a mix. So you can mix it with other shades to create like a beautiful ombre-y shade. So good. And then for gloss, I'm going to use this one right here. This is another Millennial product by Nikki Tutorials in this shade, Are You Setting Down? And you better be, because you're going to want to be. It is just so absolutely glossy, but not sticky. And that is like, I know, hold on. That's like one of the things I cannot stand is when a gloss is like sticky and it feels like, I don't know. Absolutely cannot stand that. This is like one of my all-time favorite glosses. And then I'm just going to wear like a random pair of lashes. I believe these are from Amazon. They say Charmed on them. Whatever, whatever. I don't really give a shit. I just wear lashes. And like I said, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they come from Amazon, babe. Let's see what these look like with this eyeshadow look. Yeah, I think these are going to do just fine. I'm going to go ahead and take my Duo Lash Glue. And, oop, that has a little ball of something. Creed, baby, you're dreaming. Yeah, he's dreaming, lady. Get down. Lady, baby. He's just dreaming. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and trim these lashes up. You stop it. You guys didn't know, beagles are a lot like huskies. So they love to have a conversation. Yep, so we love to talk. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah? I know. Quit. You're scratching the absolute shit out of me. Alright, you guys. I've got to hurry and put these lashes on and see what the hell he wants. They have a door to where they can go out when they want. So I don't know exactly. He might just be wanting to talk, which would not surprise me in the least. In the slightest, because that is very much a Creed thing to want. I don't know about these lashes, you guys, but they're just going to have to do because I need to figure out what they would like or what's going on with them before I film my YouTube video, because I'm in the mood to film this story time, and baby, that is what we're going to do. Alright, you guys, there is the finished look. Do I have lipstick on my teeth? No. Alright, there is the finished look, you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I have missed you guys so fucking much, and I'm so excited for 2025 and all the things that we're going to do this year together. I'm just so fucking excited. Stay tuned for Saturday. I'm going to have a very interesting fucking story time, and I am so excited to know what your fucking thoughts are on this shit and this bitch that still follows me on socials. And my question is, should I block her? Like, I've thought about it. Like, honest to God, I've thought about blocking her. But if she's still following me, like, that shows some balls, right? Especially considering she literally committed a felony against me. Like, let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys so fucking much. Until the next time.